I think I'm having spring allergies for the first time in my life because we had quite a shitty April here, and now we've had a few days that were really nice. Like yesterday was the best day in a long time. I just woke up having this like brain fog, thick-headed feeling, and my nose has been congested and running and blah blah blah. So if I seem and look, if I sound and look a little out of it, it's because of these allergies. I know I'm not sick, but that's the only thing I can come up with. I'm not thrilled with the timing of this, that I promised to do a stream and now feel like this. It's going to be a bit hard to bring my highest energy, but I'll try my best, I promised. So please, guys, talk to me in the chat just to say hi. Hey. Okay. My phone told me that we were disconnected, but it looks like it's okay. Yeah, well, I was saying, talk to me in the chat. You can ask me anything. And if we get good banter with the chat going on, I'll prioritize that, as that's more fun. It's actually happening live. And I'll just have to go back to my pre-collected questions and do a separate video on them in that case. But yeah, okay. I'll just start here and then see what you guys come up with in the chat. So the first question was, one question as a new subscriber. Why is your channel called Uncommon Sense? Well, it's twofold, really. So I'm Swedish, as you might have picked up on. So the name to begin, when I started was Swedish. And so this expression, common sense, it exists in Swedish too. Sunt förnuft. But the thing is, the word sunt, it kind of means like sound or even healthy. So the first name was osunt förnuft. So the pun is a little bit better there. It even means a sort of unhealthy sense. So it's both that, I was never a conformist person. I went my own way a lot. But as anyone, I picked up messages from the world of what I should want in life, how you should be, what you should do, And then when I went through that phase with panic attacks and I just started listening to me, my common sense, that's when I started feeling the best I ever had. So it's both a little pun on that, the unhealthy sense, that I find, the uncommon sense. Then it's just, of course, that common sense is uncommon these days. People, they do what they're told, not what they know. Most people don't really have any common sense. They can't really think for themselves. So that's why it's uncommon sense. Let's see, some people talking in the chat. RM, what to do if you're a 20-year-old male? I already go to the gym every day and have a good job, but I often feel like I'm missing something. Yeah, I mean, how should I know? Like, you have to say more. What's missing? What are you missing? You go to the gym every day and you have a good job. I mean, maybe your goals in life are higher than going to the gym and having a good job. Like, does these things fulfill you? Are they just a means for you to be like, oh, I need to look a certain way, or I need to stay in shape, but I need to get money to pay the bills, Like, it seems like even with how you're talking, that something is indeed missing. But from this little information, it's gonna be difficult for me to know what. You have to find some kind of calling, something more. I don't think everyone has to work with their passion necessarily, but if you don't, you have to get to express, whatever you are passionate about, whatever matters to you. You need to do something like meaningful in your life, even if that's on your free time. Bert, if you're doing the 3-day fast, however, are weak enough to eat, do you continue to the rest of the way, restart from the last feeding, or just try again next week? So that's an excellent question, actually. Well, it depends on the context a little bit, but what I say sometimes is often if someone has, let's say it's a 3-day fast they're doing, like you say, and let's say that, the girlfriend invites, her parents invite you for a dinner or something. This might be an exact thing that's happened with a client. So like 30 hours in or so. So they have this dinner, and why not pretend as if it didn't happen? Like, clearly it happened, but then go the rest of the 30 hours of the fast or whatever. Because if you just ate that dinner, in these 3 days, it's still a lot less than what you would have otherwise, right? So yeah, I have a philosophy of like, what's the second best option? If the best option here, the ideal, was fast for 3 days, and now you ate once, what is the second best option? It's to continue as if it didn't happen, because that's what people have, this black and white thinking. Oh, I fail, I might as well keep eating. I eat more, I binge now. So yeah, I think you should keep going. However, with some clients where I have a routine with a weekly fast, sometimes I kind of like, just don't reset the fast, because then we have a like ideal week. We're going, just go about, eat good food now, go hit your workouts. We do the fast next week again. But really, if you had a 3-day fast, you ate once, just pretend it didn't happen and keep going. Ludoren, 7,000 subscriber special, revealing the mystery behind your YouTube checkmark. I mean, mystery, people ask me all the time. I came across the right person. That's really all there is to it. On many of these platforms, before, like now on Twitter, of course, you can buy a checkmark quite cheap. But before it worked like that, you could still buy them, although they cost a lot more. So you see that there are often other ways to get the check mark. Nicola Ferri. All people feel missing something. Yeah, at times at least. I don't feel like anything is missing right now, but I do, and I will at times in my life too. Stroon, do you do a regular stretching routine as well? How frequent? Also, congrats on the 7K. Thanks. No, I don't have a regular stretching routine, so I don't have any frequency of it either. I do stretch sometimes, but it's entirely field-based. When it comes to mobility and stretching, I prefer dynamic stretching most of the time. So a movement when you move into the stretch, but also out of it, rather than just static stretching. But there are some good static stretches, and I will do them every once in a while. But it's entirely feel-based. My entire like lower back is tight. Let me stretch out my glutes and sides, with a pigeon stretch and stuff like that. Static stretching, it can have its place, but it's highly overrated by most people. RM, I broke up a year ago. Still no new girlfriend that I met. Okay, so I mean, do you have no idea what's going on with you or something? I mean, so you broke up a year ago. Do you miss this girl? Are you still grieving this girl? Like, because of course, healing after a relationship sometimes takes a long time. So maybe that's why you feel like something's missing, because you're not entirely back from that yet. And, it's not much more to do. Keep working on you, going on your path, and then time, along with introspection, is what heals, But it sounds a bit like you should probably ask yourself these things, what is missing? Why do I feel something is missing? Like, start there. Ask the questions. Why? The question why. Keep asking why. Bert, yes, I like that philosophy, because restarting the fast would lead to longer time of not going as hard in the gym due to longer period of time not eating as much. Yeah, exactly. If you completely have to restart it, yeah. Levenbroy, I have studied in Sweden and still return for canoeing in Dalsland, Allemansrite camping. Yeah, every so many years. Where are you from in Sweden? I'm from Stockholm, unfortunately. I like to joke about that, because like most people in Sweden have a prejudice against Stockholmers, that we're like, so full of ourselves and that. And I think it's true, so there's nothing wrong. There are good people here too. But, I think it's a big city or capital city thing. For some reason, I'm just better than the rest of the people in my country because I happen to be born in the largest city. Dan T, what's up from Detroit? What's up, Dan? It's fun. We have 22 people. That's already a record for me on these streams. So that's fun. I think I've never, like 22 at a time. I think I've never had more than 15 at a time before. Thomas Szafranski, I'm sorry for butchering these names. What do you think about CrossFit as a basic training for bodybuilding and general health, plus some full body workout gym once a week? Well, I mean, it can be. It's not my personal preference for what I would do, but yeah, CrossFit. The people that go hard with CrossFit get quite jacked because it's so high volume and intensity. But like with anything, it's more about your programming and are you applying progressive overload, CrossFit plus some full body workouts. I mean, CrossFit often is full body, but yeah, as long as you program well and you train hard and you train harder than last time, like Greg Doucette would say, but it's a good saying, progressive overload. um yeah, so yeah, that could be a decent routine. It's more about how the execution. Guek 2102. How much time do you spend at the gym or working out per week? Do you support high intensity training and low time and high effort? Thanks for the great work and inspiration. Well, I appreciate that. Well, the thing is, I like to be in the gym for a long time and I can take the time to do it because it's my work too, and I can film some clips. And it's also kind of a social arena for me. I talk to people in the gym sometimes. So honestly, between 1 and 2 hours in the gym most times. Some work, I would say most of my workouts are closer to 2 hours than one. And maybe I'm not training the entire time. Maybe I'm shooting the shit with someone. And I train almost every day, and not every workout is as long, of course. Um, but within high intensity training, I do support it. I train at a very high intensity, like to fail basically all sets with a few exceptions, but I it's still better to not go super low, like this one working set thing. I like to do like 3 sets per exercise, but all of them to failure, often some drop set or intensity technique on the last set. But I will say that the first set of these 3, if you take out to failure, it's the one that's most important. You get less out of each set after that. It's just that you get more from higher volume total. So yeah, it's low time and high effort. It works. It's just that it would work better with at least medium time and high effort. But if I have to choose between volume and intensity, I choose intensity always. Because that's what a lot of people do. They go and cross off like 3 sets of 10 on this, 4 sets of 8 on this, 3 times 12 on this, but the intensity wasn't there. So it's basically all just exercise. It's not really training for progress. But if you do 1 set and push it really hard, it's enough to stimulate some kind of adaptation. That is just that you'd probably get a bit more out of adding a set or 2. Yeah, wow. Yeah. Thanks to the guy that told people to like the stream, guys. You can support me with a super chat too. There's a lot, would be very appreciated. Yeah. Let's see. But with 27 people now, that's cool. Levenbroy, I love Sweden for the camping. So for me, no city. No, I agree. And I do in Sweden. I mean, in Stockholm, I live in the best place. I live sort of on a hill, so it's a little secluded from the actual city, and it's close to a forest. I went on a walk in the forest today. There's a lake nearby too. As I went swimming there yesterday. 7 degrees now, so it's nice and warm. So I live as close to nature as I can in Stockholm, basically. And it's the perfect place to live in Stockholm, but I'd prefer to live somewhere more remote, or like on the countryside. Valentin Kaman, greetings from Ukraine. Well, greetings, Valentin. Thomas Shafransky. It was quite properly spelled. Well, I'm sure your name is spelled right, but you mean pronounced. Okay, well, I'm happy. I'm a priest, 82. Just discovered your channel yesterday. Good content so far. Well, cheers, man. I've been on a fitness journey since 2022. I was 270 pounds at the age of 40. I'm now 218. I'd like to get to 175. Any advice to cutting body fat? Go on a calorie deficit, like fast or eat in a deficit. Like I have videos about this. It's way too general of a question for me to say something like, what have you done up until now? It's like, keep doing that. It seems to be working well for you. Yeah, when general questions will get general answers. That's always the thing. The more specific a person can be, the more specific of an answer you get. You've cut already. You want to keep cutting. Any advice? Well, keep doing the thing. Yeah, pump up the likes, Gwek said. I appreciate it. Nicola Ferri, I do gym K1 Mai Tai in the week and running at 4:30 in the morning plus gym on Sunday. Yeah, well, cheers, man. Sounds like a good routine. Arkady Karev, are you from Liljeholmen? No. Why would you think that? It's such a random place to ask me if I'm from. No, I mean, I've been to Liljeholmen. I pass by there sometimes when I go to a friend. I'm not from there. Um, Saj, the guy. I do full body every day, as close to failure as I can. Well, okay. Well, as long as you're making progress, because the thing for me, that there are routines. Some people talk about full body training every day. And while I think it can work, someone like me, I train at such a high intensity that I would have a hard time not training too hard. So I can't recover. So yeah, as close to failure as you can. Well, are you making progress? That's the important part. Hakeem. Hey man, how are you doing? Well, I'm doing well, except I'm having these allergies, spring allergies that I've never had. So I sound a bit like I have a cold. I'm doing quite fine. It's just like, you know, everything a little congested, dry and runny at the same time. Strewn, are you not concerned about the fasting and the muscle loss? I have a very physical job, commercial electrician, so 50K steps plus some heavyish lifting every once in a while. No, I'm not concerned because I've fasted many times. I've literally never been able to observe muscle loss. I have several videos about this. It's not really a thing, guys, with fasting. It's as long as you eat protein and train, always when you don't fast and always before a fast and always after a fast, you don't lose muscle. For fasting to make you lose muscle, of course, if you go into some kind of extreme starvation level, like I actually quite almost don't have any body fat on me, of course, I would lose muscle eventually, but you don't do it like that. And if you just did regular fasting, but you just stopped training and eat protein for some reason, then you'd lose muscle. But no, you do not lose muscle. Like generally, when you go about it in the right way, it's not the concern. I fasted for a week when I had abs at the start of the fast. So I'm not fat starting out is the point. I could not see that I lost any muscle whatsoever. And so I'm not going to elaborate on it more now because I already have videos. If you just search muscle loss on my channel, you will find it. Savager. It's difficult to pronounce some names. Hey man, I joined when I saw your video of getting jacked will get female attention. I was fat, then fit, then fat again, and it's incredible how people's perception changes of you. Yeah, I mean, that's why we're having so many viewers right now, 32. Cheers, guys. Like the stream. I'd be happy if you want to show your support with a super chat. But yeah, that video just took off. It had like a few thousand views, and now it has over 90,000. And I've gained almost 2,000 subscribers in like a week now. So that's quite cool. I mean, it's not if I could pick, it would have been another video that went viral, but I'll take it. A super chat. I appreciate that. We prioritize Gwek 2102, $2 Canadian. How long did till you felt change interiorly? You're donating $2, so that you have to keep the message short, I guess. But I guess you're asking how long it felt until I changed on my inside when I went on this journey with Uncommon Sense. Well, so first it was the panic attack phase. That it started in February of 2018, and so that was like 3 or 4 months. 4 months is probably fair to say. I noticed a change just coming out of that, but I was just still quite stressed out. And then I started training and eating better. In like 2 weeks, I just felt I was doing better all over. And it's a little hard to say exactly when the big change happened, but it was like post panic attacks. Just overcoming the panic attacks so they didn't happen anymore. That was the biggest change. And then it's just a gradual, it's like that was the awakening when just a lot of my old patterns and traumas and shit was just alleviated. And then I just noticed improving even more all the time. So it did, let's say it took half a year to just change the big change, the first initial change. then it's just been a gradual journey of improvement. You know, you're never done. It's crazy how much, like if you look back to that video that went viral, I had come pretty far just as a person working on themselves. But when I look at that video now, I see a boy compared to now, and it's just 4 years. And it's because I really went all in on looking within, finding my weaknesses, my patterns, improving me, you know. So yeah, you're never done. But I feel like there's, for everyone that goes on a process of change, there is that one, the big change, the sudden, the awakening, and then it's easy to think that you're done in a sense there. But life is going to teach you you're not done. But then you just become more and more conscious. Really, you were unconscious. You start becoming more and more conscious. Okay, do we have more? Carmen Rodriguez, OG, what's up? What are your thoughts on self-improvement books? Well, I think you know that I'm not a big fan of books in general. Like my thing with all these things, like self-improvement books, like what book? Are all of them the same? Like, of course there can be good books. And then my thing is always just like, some people, they just read too much. They spend all the time watching YouTube videos, reading self-improvement books, but what are you doing? Are you using this that you're learning, or are you just feeling, you know, getting high on dopamine, feeling as if you're doing something about it, just reading all this self-improvement stuff? But if you read a book and like really integrate the lessons you take from that and apply it in real life, of course they are good, you know. But then again, it depends. I'm sure there's books that are labeled self-improvement books that are crap, filled with nonsense. I'm sure there are good ones too. Levenbroy, did you in your journey ever pause for like weeks or months? If so, why? And did you have problems restarting? The answer is no to everything. Never stopped. That's the entire thing. Sometimes you have to put in the brakes on certain aspects of the process. You have an injury. I've overreached. I've had to like dial back because I trained too hard. I've had to. We're talking about, because you're asking if I ever paused. I never paused the physical process whatsoever, more than these like little, like I said, like when I fast now, it's a natural pause from training for a few days. But I've never just taken a week off, even just like that. No, I always do something. I've had to dial it back, both for overreaching in general, training too hard, but getting injuries. But I never just like, oh, stop following a good diet, stop training. No, I have, however, had to stop when I went into some kind of low frequency period and experienced depression for a while. I've had to stop something, like I have to I have an ideal on YouTube that I want to upload 3 videos per week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Now it's Sunday and I'm streaming, and I'm gonna be uploading more now when I'm fasting and stuff, but that's some kind of general schedule I want to have. When I've not been feeling good and my inspiration and creativity is just not flowing at all, I have to dial back on a thing like that. But even that, I've never stopped. I think the biggest break you can find between videos on this channel since 4 years ago is like 10 days, maybe at some point, a week here and there, but not more. So you see what I mean? That's the mistake people do with everything they do, that they just stop. They just stop instead of dialing it back. And when it comes to the training and that, I probably dialed it back too little, if anything. But of all the important parts that I consider, but the process, my life process, I've not stopped any of them. Of course, there are little projects with different things. Oh, I'm going to learn this thing, and that just stopped or something. But overall, the important things, no, never stopped. Just had times when you could like bulldozer forward, sometimes when you have to dial it back a little bit. Strun. Okay, so to start doing a 24 once a week until it becomes easy would be a beneficial place for me to start. Thank you. I will find those videos. I just found you yesterday, lol. Yeah, of course. It's just, you know, you don't ever know. Some things you find yourself repeating and saying over and over. Even me, that my channel isn't all that big. And you get like sick of yourself. Like, I've talked about this so much, you know. And for some that have watched you a lot, it's like, it's this thing for the 10th time. And for the other person, it's the first time. So, you know, you never know. But it's good to have videos to refer back to, of course. I mean, a 24 once a week until it becomes easy, a place to start. I'll do a video now because there's an influx of new people and I'm going on a fast. So tomorrow I'm going to do like a little just fundamental fasting video. But I like to start longer if you can, because if you can rip the band-aid off and do like 3-day fast immediately when you never did a fast, everything less, it might still be challenging, but the mental aspect, you know you can do it. My first fast I did after never having gone 24 hours without eating was 5 days, you know. You see what I'm saying? You can do the exact opposite thinking sometimes. Let's see, how many do we have? 30 people. We're breaking records here all over the place. Please like, consider sending a super chat. Yeah, let's keep going. Nicola Ferry, at the gym sometimes after a day of work, I feel low energy and I keep training with low repetition. Any suggestion to avoid that? To get low energy? I mean, train earlier or what, you know? Like, I don't know why you have low energy. Like, it's too general, man. It's like there's no cop out just answer for low energy. Like maybe train earlier in the day if you can, and so you don't have low energy yet. Maybe you get energy to go about your day. Maybe something else. You're behind on sleep, whatever, you know. I don't know what's up. Stroon, $2 Canadian super chat. Thank you for the help. Well, thank you for the support, my guy. I appreciate it. Savagers. I think I kind of know why your video picked up. I think it's related because nowadays is a lot of men struggling to get a girlfriend. The dating market is harsh for a lot of boys. Sure, but it doesn't really explain why it was picked up just like that, you know. But you know, the algorithm works in mysterious ways. But because you know, from you can see if you watch the statistics in the YouTube studio, it's like it's almost a straight line with views, and it's just you know from nowhere. So you never know happened there. Hakim, do you still practicing retention? I've understood you have a girlfriend, right? I mean, what do you mean by still? I never have, you know. So this is also a strange thing when you do content like this. People say that you do stuff that you don't do. Like, I was like, are you still do keto? No, I never have really since I made this channel. NoFap versus low fap is my thing, you know, like low fap. I don't see the point really more than temporarily to go full, complete semen retention. I just think it's something that shouldn't be abused. But so I'm a proponent of low fap. I think it's a little different what you do with your girl though. But yeah. Well, I have a girlfriend. It's quite a special situation. She's not feeling great right now, and I sort of have to. She's far away too, so you know, there's a bit of retention going on here. Anders Eriksson, love your mix of personal development, workout, fasting, etc. The Volcel video gave me many new insights. Well, I appreciate that, Anders, and that's what I try to do on this channel. Keep it holistic. I know a lot of people that use the word holistic are kind of full of shit, you know. But it is a thing, you know, to have this whole perspective of things. It's not like, yeah, I this is a training channel. No, this is a mental health channel. No, this is a fasting channel. No, this is a human person challenge, self-development. We use these tools. We talk about life. We develop ourselves as a whole, holistic. So that's what I've always been going for, and I'm glad you liked it and that you gained insights from that video. Nicola Ferri, I recommend Memory of Marco Aurelio. Yeah, well, do you know that that's one of the few books I have in my possession, but I haven't read it. And you say some other books there. Pink, Pink Supremacy. Are you experiencing any problems finding people on your level to bond with? I do find it quite challenging myself since I have a very strong drive regardless of what I set my mind to. It is an excellent question. However, so it is kind of difficult to find people on your level. Yes, it's very much that, you know, not from a place of arrogance, but in most relationships, you just bring more to the table. People have more to learn from you, you know. It's like guys that want to work out with me, and not even just work out, but for example, you know, It's kind of like, yeah, every once in a while, but you understand that you take away from my working out by you being much worse. I'm taking care of you when we work out, and it is hard to find people, and just on your level of insight about things. That being said, though, because this is something that happens a lot when you go on a journey of self-improvement and all that. You start growing away from some people, and it's right. There's a phase when you kind of have to go hermit mode and maybe be a little of a loner. I have, however, noticed that I have a tendency towards hyper independence, and it's I hate to use those words too much, but it's a sort of trauma response, like an adaptation that you couldn't really depend on anyone other than yourself. So you've sort of learned that. So sometimes you even block yourself from fully enjoying the connections that you have with people that actually could be on your level in many ways. So that's something I've been working on a lot the last maybe 1.5 years, that the good relationships that I have or that I see could be even better, I put more effort into them. I invest more into them. So you see how two things can be true at once, that when you reach a high level of self-development, a lot of people are just going to not be on your level, but sometimes it's sort of a thing you've made up in your head to that, no one understands me, no one can work with me, la 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 la. Then if you allow some people to be a bigger part of your life, you will see that they actually can be. So 40 people, that's definitely a record. Like the stream if you haven't already. Send a super chat, show your support. I appreciate it a lot. Let's see who's next. Armstrong 178. Just want to say thank you for the inspiration. Well, thank you for telling me that, bro. Love and broy. Okay, no, stop. Sometimes things happen in your life you cannot control, so a pause out of your control. But good to see you don't pause. But you have not had such pause with factors out of your control. Well, man, of course, out of your control. People like to focus on things out of their control. You don't know some things I've gone through these last 2 years. And a lot of people would have stopped with a lot of things if they were presented with those things. So you can't just assume that. And look, I've had many severe injuries that have just completely blocked me from doing certain things. So we're talking just about the gym. I have never stopped going. I'm always like, okay, what can I do now instead? How can I work around this? Okay, I can't do this exact thing. What else can I do? You can either look for and focus on these things outside of your control, or you can focus on what you actually can control. And many times you don't have to pause completely. Of course, you could be run over by a car and every bone in your body is broken. Okay, but even then, fucking train my mind lying there. Like I'm, I'm gonna get super strong. There's always something you can do, even when you almost can't do anything. Anders Eriksson, about pollen allergy, I'm raw food vegan, and when I went vegan, my allergy was gone. Have you tried being vegan on your journey? No, and I most certainly will not. Like, not to put you down, my friend, but I'm just not a believer in the vegan diet whatsoever. Other than an intervention, I understand that for some conditions, it might be a good intervention diet. I just think it will need to lead to some kind of malnourishment long term. And many times that people experience that they feel better on a vegan diet is because they went from a crap diet to a vegan diet, not from a good diet containing meat to a vegan diet. See what I'm saying? So no. Did you say pollen allergy? No, I love certain fruits and stuff, but I just think animal foods, red meat and eggs are an essential part of the human diet. And yeah, I never had allergies before. I just think it's a new thing for me. They say that some people don't notice it until their 30s. And I just think it was from being crap weather, a few days really nice, and me being outside a lot. I just think that's the thing. Mesar, var i Sverige bor du? Är du kristen? So he's asking where in Sweden I live and if I'm Christian. I live in Stockholm and I don't consider myself Christian. No, I do believe in God, and it's at that's what the foundation for everything I do. But you know, I have videos that trigger the shit out of Christians, somewhat recent. I don't believe in any of the major religions. I think they are all interpretations of the same one truth. This analogy of if God is the center of a city, it doesn't really matter from which direction you arrive at the center, as long as you arrive at the center. God is the important part, right? And so I've met Christians that I don't feel like we have anything in common at all. I've met Muslims where I feel we have a lot in common. So I see it's not really about the religion in the end. It's the person and their morals and their relationship to God, you know. David Malmblad, känner du till the golden one? Du påminner om honom. So he's asking me if I know the golden one and that I am reminiscent of him, I guess. No, I mean, yes. I get this question a lot. Yes, I was actually supposed to play in the same poker game as him once, but he couldn't make it. But yes, I am aware. I just never watched a lot of his videos, but I know he's another Swede. Yeah, people say that someone said you're like the golden one, but more unhinged. I thought that was kind of funny. I've not had to blow my nose in so long, you know. Auschwitz with the allergy. I was dying of allergies every summer for 20 years. Then went no grain and no gluten, no bread and whole foods. 2 years, no allergies. Well, that's cool. And I've never had allergies, really, you know. This is the first time I'm ever experiencing something like that. Messarp, vad gillar du mest i Sverige respektive minst? So he's asking what do I like most about Sweden and the least. Well, I do like the cold, actually. I don't like the darkness. The cold is great. I think it toughens you up, but it's so dark. It's really, it's not my favorite part. I don't like, I mean, I think the West, there are similar problems in most Western countries, but I think some things are extra, like a lot here. That Sweden, they are so conformist, you know, they're so scared of conflict, so afraid of being different, you know, jantelagen. I hate that. That the people, especially here in Stockholm, are so, they're living in fear. People are introverted, quote unquote, but really just afraid. Everyone is walking in their bubble, you know, there's no connection between the people. And I'm very much the opposite. I'm not saying everyone either. I manage to connect with people all over, but just that people are so freaking sheepish here, you know, that would be one of the worst things. I do like our nature. I do like the cold even. And one thing, because I lived in Greece, where of course the nature is great, and I like the people too. But one thing that you have to say, even if they spend our tax money on complete bullshit here a lot, somehow we have a lot left because there's just a high standard on anything, you know. Going to Greece, say for instance a gym, an average gym here would be like a top tier gym in Greece, for instance. And we complain about our public transport here. It's like this is top tier again compared to Greece. Like the public transport there is a joke, especially the buses, you know. So that would be another thing, just that there's a very high standard on like on average with just everything here. Spurgy Step Barbarian. Found your channel recently and I love the advice you give. Been lifting for 2 years and I'm glad to have you along for the journey. Well, I appreciate that, man. I'm happy to be part of your journey. Fixed Supremacy says, what the? And he says, if you know, you know. Yeah, I'm not going to spoil. Let us know if you know. 45 people, that's really cool. It's breaking records all the time. And a super chat, very nice. Gwake2102, can you talk more about the journey after that big first change? How you moved mentally beyond the physical plateau? Share successes too. Thank you. Well, I mean, I could go on for so long about everything, but it's just that, you know, the big first change, okay? So when I went through the whole panic attack thing, I had to do a lot of things I wasn't really comfortable with, you know. First of all, with the actual panic attacks, of course, like being terrified to different situations, but also that I have to turn down people. Like I've made plans with someone and I have to, because I found out that I'm sort of a people pleaser person, you know, like all of us pick up traits like that. And just having to let people down, for instance, and just learning that, okay, it's actually okay that I prioritize me in my life. And then I give this with a healthier lifestyle a go, and I noticed it's so obvious when I start feeling better that, wow, this is the way to go. But then, when you start changing, you're gonna notice that a lot of people, suddenly guys I used to spend time with, there's like a disconnect here. We have not as much in common anymore, and so you have to learn to set boundaries with people, like, because a lot of people, they want to pull you back into your old ways, and you have to learn to set boundaries with them. You have to notice a lot about your own weaknesses and that. But how you move mentally, but it's so big, because I can talk about it's so much happened, but I with the physical, I just started educating myself on training and diet as much as I could while I was doing the things, improving my diet and training and implementing the things. And the funny thing is, when you've gone on a journey like me, and you both talk to people like this, but also coach people, you can like see kind of like, okay, so he's on that level now. Oh, well, I remember that. Like, for one thing, for instance, is because I didn't get into this to get like big fitness results. It's just something I realized, hey, I like that and I can do that now too. But when you have never been like super lean, you have never really been like, veins popping and stuff, it feels quite far away, and you keep wondering, like, when will I get there? You're very results oriented. And so I remember things like that, feeling like stuff is out of reach, and no matter what you do, I'm not going to reach it. But then just keep going, and the more you actually gain these results from doing things consistently, you see the pattern of, hey, the less I focus on the result and the more I just focus on the steps I need to take each day to get there, the sooner I get there. So suddenly, when you go through these phases of bulking and cutting, you don't think as much of the results. You just know the result is just a goalpost way there. I'm focusing on what needs to be done right here. And yeah, I know you sent the super chats. I want to answer good to your question, but it's so big. But really, you just keep introspecting, you keep picking things up. But then the biggest problem people have, of course, is that they just over-educate themselves on everything, get paralysis by analysis. You have to try to learn from different sources, like you're learning from me, for instance, right now, but you have to also have something you're actually doing, like going to the gym, trying to follow a certain diet, trying to fast a certain way, and so on. But thanks again for the super chat. There's a lot of, like, we have a lot of people. I never had this many before. There's a lot in the chat. So you send a super chat if you want me to prioritize your question. Local bee pollen. Oh, yeah, there's a lot here now. There's a lot here now, guys. I'm gonna have to miss some of these. Like for instance, Mesarp here is spamming questions. I can't get to all of your questions now. There's too many. Send a super chat if there's something you really feel I need to prioritize here. Based solar night. Yeah, the solar night. That's right. But he asked if I've talked to Cole Robinson, and I have. I chatted with him, voice messages. I've sent him little updates here and there. Once we actually spoke on the phone, and there's an old video when I talk about that. Actually, like Cole Robinson called me, something like that. Found your channel recently, and I love the advice you give. Oh yeah, I saw that one already. But I appreciate it, man. Too many questions. What do you think about the red pill movement? Watch my video about Andrew Tate. What income streams do you have? Any tip to someone wanting to work online or start a business? You start doing something. You know that it's the same thing as people with like with the training and work. Where should I start? Well, what are you doing now? Nothing. Well, that's your problem. Do something. Go to the gym. Just try stuff. Have intention with making better food choices. I don't know what you want to do online. Start an Instagram. You start an Instagram. Put out whatever it is you want to work with. Income streams. I have coaching. I have little employments. I do some in-person PT. Now, hopefully, I can get more from YouTube. I've not really been able to rely on YouTube, but there's been a few $100 of ad money the last week. That's cool. With the super chats, I would love to do streams more often and be able to rely a bit on super chats for income, because I think I'm really good at this. I'm just monologuing for you guys, answering you guys' question. But yeah, really all the income streams I have right now are related to what I do here, though, like some kind of coaching, like either online, either in person, etc. Torstein Nordby, that I know is joining me for my fast. Mesarp is going on with these alt-right-ish kind of questions. Thoughts about the declining birth rate in the Western Sweden. Well, I've answered too many of your questions now, so I got to get to the other people. Thorstein Nordby, doing my first 3-day fast, about 28 hours in and doing 10,000 steps. Now I feel so much mental clarity and getting a lot of energy. Have done OMAD up until now. Well, that's cool, man. Try to push it to 72 hours. Or like at least so that you are on day 3. Like my favorite like cop out fast, like just one, is 60 hours. Because that's right about when all the most interesting things with a fast starts happening. But yeah, good luck, man. Stay in touch. Update me on Instagram there. Sladder Emil, pollen life. Yeah, first time I'm experiencing the pollen life, the allergies. How did you come to believe in God? Very few Swedes believe in God. Well, I found him on the inside when I went through that panic attack phase. So also, go looking at more of my videos, man. Like, I talk so much about me and all my ideas, and and it's not really about me. Like, of course it is, because I'm here, I'm a person, but I use the examples of what I've gone through to teach people things. So even God. And I think you can't, I think that's a problem for a lot of people, that they think they're gonna find the right argument for God or something, but God is beyond that. He's on the inside. You have to find the God yourself. And so that's why even a thing like the Bible and stuff, it can just point you in the right direction. It like can tell you where to look in a sense, but it is a place inside you that no one else can point out for you. They can just kind of guide you until you end up there. Yeah, fasting, for instance, go on a long fast, don't eat anything, spend time introspecting. You might just find God. Sakrat, what do you think about never tracking calories and then just throw in a 72-hour fast in at once every 2 to 3 weeks? Depends entirely. Who are you? Are you struggling with losing weight? Then I don't think it's a good idea. If it's like someone like me doing that's pretty much what I would do a lot of the time. I don't have to track my calories to a T. I would do a long fast now. I will go into some kind of daily deficit, but for me, because I've done this so much, I just know kind of, okay, I shouldn't eat more than this. And then I probably throw in a fast later again. So, it depends entirely. Someone that struggles with weight loss, they will need more structure, more intention with their weight loss than that. For someone that kind of has stuff under control, yeah, why not, Sladder Emil, bro, how do you feel about the state of Sweden right now regarding murders and gang violence? Well, not good, of course. It's like crazy, But to be honest, I don't even keep up with most of it now, because I've known this for a long time, that all of this is crazy, it's running wild. And it's not that I have like a defeatist mindset or something, it's just that that's not really what I talk about mostly on this channel. And for my state of, I used to be one of these guys with a little frog picture, and just overly consuming news and being kind of a doomer, You're sitting and like you get addicted almost to getting upset reading the news and that. So I just stay clear of stuff like that all over. But of course, it's a terrible situation we have with all of that. Mishap, have you cold approached girls? Well, it's not like I've done it a lot, but so it's one thing. I have a girl, and we have a very, very special story. Like it can be made a book out of it. Like really, like a romantic, dramatic novel. It's quite crazy. But so there's been a little on and off with that throughout these years, that I've sometimes had to be like, I can't, I have to let this go, kind of. But I've never fully. It's years when I haven't really truly considered any other girl, But at times when when things have just not been going as well, I've done some kind of cold approaching, kind of just to not feel as I'm just holding on to something that maybe won't happen. Then just to kind of keep my like. You see what I'm saying? I'm not finding the words to express it. to not feel like I'm just completely locked up into something that won't happen. Just give me a little confidence boost of just chatting with girls, you know. So yeah, I guess I have cold approach girls sometimes, like more intentionally like that. I will say though that I'm the kind of guy that will just strike up conversations, girls or guys, all over the place. I talked to some girls down by the lake when I jumped in because I heard that they were scared of going in because it was 7 degrees, and I told them that, oh well, you should go come in the winter. It's 0 degrees. There's no sun. There's ice all over the place, you know. It's not a cold approach because I'm not trying to approach them, but technically I'm approaching people I don't know. So yeah, Gabriel Lasky. Local bee pollen may help you get over your allergies. The ancient Greeks fed it to their athletes and called it ambrosia. It's supposed to help you with energy, vascularity, and weight loss. Yeah, did you just see Natural Hypertrophy's video? I saw that it's like the one supplement he stands behind. I'm sure that's true. I'm big on honey. Bee pollen is a little more difficult to find around here. But, you know, I'm starting to talk to people that talk with farmers that are somewhat close also. So I appreciate that, and I'm a big fan of all the bee stuff. I will say though that the allergy, it's new. It's literally today is the first time I'm really ever experiencing it in this way. I want to talk to a girl at church I like. Do you have any tips? Talk to her, you know, like just do it, man. Like you know, whether it will work out or not, you have to make a move and just say hi. To be honest, I think authenticity. You know, guys are scared of rejection, or I might be nervous and that. Honestly, some girls would even think you're brave because it shows that you're nervous, but you did it anyway. You know, because you don't. It's nothing. Not that it isn't impressive too to always be all relaxed and confident too, of course. But you know, it doesn't take any courage then. You know, because you're already feeling fine. So you're actually, by being nervous and approaching a girl, and you're actually showing that you have courage, you know. You can even acknowledge that, you know, I've been wanting to talk to you, but I've been a little, I'm not finding my moment, you know. I just want to say hi. You know, you just start talking. It's really like with everything, guys. Like, it won't, a thing like talking to girls, everyone wants to get over the fear before they want to know that it's going to go well before they do it. Well, you don't. No matter how great advice you get, you're never going to get over that fear and just feel comfortable with the thing until you do the thing. The only thing would be increasing your confidence from other like areas. Like, but that's not a viable strategy here. Now you know her, you should go talk to her. But I'm saying the only way to reduce fear for a thing like that is to improve your confidence for other reasons, like getting fit. It's not even the look, you know, just knowing, yeah, I've been putting in the work and it shows I'm getting rewarded for it. I feel good about myself, you know. But in general, getting over a fear that you clearly have here of approaching this girl, facing the fear is the only way. Gabriel Lasky, if you choose to eat it, just microdose at first because you wouldn't want to have an anaphylactic shock response. Over time, you should build up a tolerance and get to the positive effects. About the bee pollen, yeah, sure. Conrad Coney, hi buddy, cool to have you on YouTube. Well, cool to have you here, Conrad. 40 people, 41 likes. That's cool. Never had big streams like this. I can keep this maybe. The Sunday streams has been a thing before, and definitely we have this many people. I can definitely keep doing them. I, of course, can always throw in random streams here and there, but this schedule, it works. It's one of the best times for me when I also know it's a good time for most people subscribing to the channel all over the world. But yeah, guys, I appreciate it. Like if you haven't already, send a super chat, show support. I appreciate it a lot. Arkady Karev, what do you think about medical checkups for someone who does bodybuilding? Do you track some specific health indicators, or is a basic annual checkup sufficient? I think medical checkups, like as a regular thing, is more for bodybuilders that take a bunch of gear, so they have good reason to suspect that some of their, you know, values would be off, you know, because the gear, of course, shocks your system, it damages organs, all this, you know. So that's why it's even such a big talk with bodybuilding and health checkups. It's because they're fucking consciously ruining their health. It's not about health for that kind of person, right? So yeah, of course, I don't really do regular medical checkups at all. I did a blood test. Like, is it even 3 years ago now? Almost. Wow, time flies. But that's the last time I even did something like that. I'm not saying that in general that you shouldn't go, and it's nothing wrong with that, but doing it like regularly and connecting it to bodybuilding, it's like, no, but I have a healthy approach. I'm not taking any drugs here or anything. I have no like reason to suspect that something is off. That being said, of course, you could do that every once in a while. Got another super chat from a Swede. To the moon, 20 Swedish crowns. Appreciate it. Tack man. You do PT for gym noobs? Of course, I do for anyone. Like, I would say my typical client, like I've had men and women, ages like really young, to like older, up in the 60s. In person PTing, I trained like older people, which is, it's not the same as training a noob, of course, but I'm saying I've done it on many different levels. But my typical client is like a guy 5 years younger than me, with varying degrees of success with fitness already, you know. Right? I can train anyone on their level, for sure. That's the thing. When you understand, when you get that's the funny thing. A lot of people, they wouldn't think that a guy that's like muscular would be the PT for them, because they can't identify it, and their goal isn't necessarily to build a lot of muscle. The thing is, the muscle really is proof that you know what you're doing, really. Yeah, the point being is that if you reach a high level of fitness, it means that you can teach anything up to that level, even some people beyond, of course, that just because I have a lot of understanding for the training. I'm sure I could even help someone that is technically stronger than me or something. That being said, that person is less likely to need help. But yeah, I PT gym noobs. If you're interested in that, I mean, you're Swedish, are you in Stockholm? Because of course, online coaching is like what I market through this mostly, but I do some in-person personal training too. So send me email, or DM on Instagram. I'm sure I put it in the description on this stream too, right? Yeah, I did. Another super chat from Gwek2102, 5 Canadian dollars. Thanks for all the inside help, inspiration, and unique insights. Would you avoid getting involved with girls during physical self-improvement journey? So I appreciate the super chat again. Look, this kind of question, that's one thing you're gonna get from me. I used to be a very black and white kind of guy when I was really black-pilled in life and didn't believe in God and all that. And I've come to realize that nothing is basically like nothing is black and white. It's not you should do this or this, like always. It's always context dependent. So what I would say is, if you go, it seems like from the questions you asked, it's like you're at a turning point in your life when you're like, okay, I'm gonna get my shit together, I'm gonna start working on myself. Of course, probably your focus shouldn't probably be to mainly go looking for girls or something. That being said, if you just happen to meet a girl that seems like the kind of girl for you, you know, there's no rule that says like, no, you're on a journey of self-improvement, so you can't be invested in that, you know. So you see what I mean? Maybe it shouldn't be the focus for you that you actively go asking girls out on dates or something, but you shouldn't just block yourself from it either. And I'll say this as a last point. For some guy, that could really be his major area. Maybe some guy is already fit, but it didn't give him the confidence because he is just his deepest fear, interacting with the other sex. Maybe that kind of guy, that would be the major thing he has to focus on in his self-improvement process, right? So you see, it depends on the person, but it's never a black and white thing. For you, probably sounds like it's not what you should put your focus towards the most. But if you happen to meet a good girl, why not? So yeah, I appreciate the super chat again, my man. Several super chats from this guy. Hey, Mr. Sense, Jack Despot says, oh, hey, Jack, what's up? Lots of questions from Mesar. You know, I would have appreciated this way back when there were fewer people watching the stream, so I could get to every, because it really sometimes it was like 1 or 2 people in the chat carrying the stream. Now it's a little much to get to, you know. Well, we'll see here. Because you know, I really have like 15 other questions written down from before, but now I'm getting so much more live, so I guess I have to do a separate just video going through those chats to not let those guys down. Let's see. What do we have? Raul Kiss. Is it normal to feel stuck in a self-improvement journey? For sure, man. For sure. I mean, it's normal to feel like you're taking back steps even, because, you know, we have these expansions periods and contraction periods. And expansion periods would be when you just feel like everything is going your way. Yeah, like, yeah, yes, I'm just enjoying everything I do. I'm very clearly moving forward in some ways, you know. Then you have these contraction periods when it feels like, fuck, nothing's going my way, or I have to fight really, really hard for the things to even go my way. And so it is normal to feel stuck. I mean, fuck, my almost entire last year, I felt stuck. Then it's good to remember that your emotional state will have you looking at things not necessarily for what they are. I mean, because I felt stuck, looking at it, it was a necessary phase I had to go through to reach the next level. And now I'm enjoying more of an expansion period again, when things are more clearly moving in the right direction. But you see, the points, it's really the points when you don't, when it's not as obvious that you're doing great, those are the most important ones. Like, because now you have to protect the progress you've already made, and you're also doing a sort of other less obvious work on yourself. It's not just like, yeah, I'm hitting my workouts and I'm moving forward and I'm improving my diet. It's like even figuring yourself out. What makes you feel stuck? What are you lacking right now? What has to change in your life right now? It's something more abstract and deeper. And it's really when you come out of that, now it's because you handle a period like that well, you get to experience one of these expansion phases again. So yeah, it's very common. You're never going to feel great, amazing, motivated all of the time. I sure as hell haven't throughout all these years that I've been doing this channel and just this life process. But looking back at it, I did handle those periods of feeling stuck well, and I wasn't actually stuck. So you see, there's a difference between feeling stuck and being stuck. The work at those times is different than at the times when you're motivated or things are just going your way. Avi, question about fasting for quick fat loss on a cut. What do you mean, question about fasting for quick fat loss on a cut? Kind of stuck with belly after bulk. You're not asking anything. You think I'm just gonna say question about fasting for quick fat loss? Yeah, do it. Just don't eat. You'll lose fat. Best way to lose the last 8 kg. There's no best way, man. There are many ways to do it. It completely depends on you, where you're at, last 8 kg. Like, are you skinny fat? Are you fat? Do you have muscle? What have you been doing before? It's like there are many ways to do it. The best way is the one that gets you there and makes you stay there. And that's different for different people. General advice for young men. It's too general. I mean, there are many things. Like, one thing would be, though, because we talked about this with focusing on girls and that, don't put any value whatsoever with sleeping, partying and sleeping around with girls. It's a huge waste of time. The most you'll have from it are some fun stories, you know, but you don't really gain anything from that. The way I see it, it's like the biggest distraction for most guys. Like, so it doesn't mean that you shouldn't have any interest or make any efforts to be involved with the other sex, with girls at all, but just in this way, the sleeping around. There's no value in just casual sex. And so if I just am to give one piece of general advice, because I could give a lot, I mean, go to the gym, all this stuff, you know, but the sooner you can realize that chasing external validation by sleeping with girls, because that's what it is, it's temporary pleasure and the validation that, hey, I'm lovable because some girl would have sex with me. The sooner you can realize that that's a waste of time, energy, even money in some cases, the better. Put your resources in other places and focus on finding the one good girl instead. Mesa, what is your long-term goals? Like, people ask me that often, and like, I don't really think about it so much in that way. It's more of a path I want to walk on, because goals, you realize, again, results, the more you get into self-improvement, you realize that it's never really about the result. It's you know, the journey is the destination. It's about the process. It's about going on the path there. So it's really everything I'm already doing, just getting better on I want to improve my training practice. I want to improve me as a person, the way I am, operate in the world, my relationships, all that. My channel here, like both growing in terms of numbers, but growing as a person that does that, being able to help more people, both indirectly via the content and working with more people with coaching. But it's kind of like the exact things, exactly what that looks like, I find out on the way there. It was the same with the training, I didn't exactly know what I wanted and what level I could reach, but I knew kind of what the path looks like, and you find what the path looks like on the way. But one goal would be, my biggest goal, like the only like clear goal, I would really like to be a dad and have a family, and give my kids chances that I never got. I think that's the most noble, honorable goal you can have in this life. Because so many of us were kind of fucked up by our parents in one way or another. I love my parents, our relationship is decent now, but just giving, because I did not feel good from early in my life, giving my kids the opportunity to actually better life than I have. That's my biggest goal in this life, like an actual concrete goal like that. Arthur Schultz, yeah, consistency makes everything easy. Yeah, well, easy and easy, it makes everything happen, super chat. $10 from Melkor. I enjoyed your video on celibacy. If I may ask, how did you bring this up to your significant other that you've been with for a long time? How did they respond? So I appreciate the super chat. Look, this again, with my significant other, you know how I am on this channel. I want to share and talk about everything. With her, because of that I mentioned earlier on this stream, we've had quite an insane and special story, and it's not just mine to tell. I'm sure we'll share that story someday. But you see, I had to keep things out of respect for her. I had to keep things a little like vague, But let's say that she is kind of part of the reason that I like decided that I'm actually in a celibacy. Like I talked about this, if you see my video too about stop having sex, which is basically making a case for the Volcel thing. When I started changing and I noticed I don't really need this validation from girls anymore, like by sleeping with them. On routine, I slept with maybe 3 more girls. I can't quite recall now. But I just remember that I had started noticing this. Again, that I talked about why the channel is called Uncommon Sense at the start. Started to listen to my voice, my common sense a lot. Because I've been listening to what I think, like many of us guys, a message we get is it's cool to sleep with girls. I should want to sleep with a lot of girls. So even when you start noticing that I don't care about this as much anymore, you like, but am I supposed to? So I've been thinking about this. Then I sleep with this one last girl, and it's so fucking useless. She's doing her best to imitate like whatever porn she's watched. It's not authentic at all. Like all this moaning and stuff that I know, not a girl when she likes it and it's like actual intimacy going on. Of course she'll moan, but I'm saying in this situation, it's just a fucking show. And so I just decided that this is useless. I didn't do the binary decision that, okay, I'm in a celibacy now, but I'm just like, yeah, no, I'm not going to focus on this whatsoever. Then I had almost been in a celibacy for a year when I met this girl, and she just shared my traditional views like this, only that she had more been like that, like always, So it wasn't so much something to bring up. That's like one thing that drew her to me, that I had been talking about these things. Yeah, so you see, I didn't have to bring it up even. But I appreciate the super chat, man. Biggest one so far, $10. Let's get to the other stuff. I have more time. So as long as stuff keeps going in the chat, I'll keep answering your questions. But I definitely, the ones I've saved from before, I'm just going to have to do a separate video on. But I'll take the opportunity to tell you guys again, I am technically fasting, but it's so, because a fast, it starts as soon as the last time you ate was, so I ate 2 hours ago, and I will fast for at least 60 hours, probably longer. But since there's a lot of new people here, didn't come from fasting, because a lot of people found this channel because of fasting, I will be doing daily videos on this fast and talk about the fasting, just so you know. But maybe one video on the fasting day, because what I usually do when I do fasting videos is that I do a little update on the fast and then talk about something else. So maybe I do one longer video on one of the fasting days for all those questions. Hey, where's this? Can I remove that? So, what's your zodiac sign? That tone Morenito. Sorry for the butchering the names. My zodiac sign, I'm a Sagittarius. Life path 9, if you're into numerology, also. Messart, thoughts on snake diet nowadays versus old snake diet 2017 to 2019. So I'm not as up to speed. I don't check in as much on the snake diet anymore. I mean, I feel like old school Cole was the best. Like, you know, Cole, I got a lot from Cole. It's just that, you know, a lot of people that follow people online, the fucking phones. Who designed a phone to keep asking you for updates? Like, I'm in the middle of a stream. Why would I ever pause a live stream to do an update on the phone? No, but people follow people online, and you know, you're supposed to graduate the person at some point. Like, of course, I want people to stick around and like the channel, but I think the natural development, the best kind of person you follow is that you get the most you can by following them intensely for a while. And then if they are good enough that it will still bring you something new, you check in from time to time, but you're now not like, not the first person to see every video like that. And that's how I hope people will use this channel. You know, follow me intensely when you find the channel, and then start maybe more checking in from time to time. But a guy like Cole, I personally have learned everything I can from Cole. So, you know, I have no real need to check in much more. His audience, you know, I could learn about the fasting because I got into fasting, but he's mainly talking to very overweight people. And so one thing I would say that I just don't quite understand with Cole is this huge flips he does. It's like it must be intentional because he does it so drastically. He'll go from being like, no, keto, you have to do keto, low protein keto. And suddenly it's now, I've just seen from notification that apparently now it's no fat and high carb and that. And so many different things can work. But yeah, it's just strange. But I will say this, I feel like he peaked. I guess he's doing some more live streams now, but his old Q&A live streams were just great. I just remember turning some of them off and just starting laughing my ass off immediately from the, you know, monologues he would go on. Nicola Ferry, yes, be determinate. An example this morning, I start running and I feel my calf sour. At first I would stop, but in my mind I say I don't give a fuck. I keep going for 20 kilometers. And after an hour go at gym. Well, there's balance with that too. I mean, you probably know your body, but some feelings in your body you shouldn't ignore. That it's just I find it difficult with this because I'm one of the people that I have to think about not overtraining, not training too hard and too much. And 95% of people who would think they're overtraining are not, okay? Most people's problem is that they don't train hard enough and that they will let every little owie be an excuse. No, I sort of had this feeling in my back, so thought I should skip this workout. And so it's difficult because some people need to hear that, look, sometimes you need to rest. Sometimes it's not good to go against the pain, but most people don't need to hear that. Yeah, that's what. Have you heard about this Swedish YouTuber called the Golden One? Yeah, you're the second one this stream to ask, and people ask me all the time. I almost know the guy on a personal level, like we have mutual friends, but I've never met him. I was supposed to once, but he couldn't make it. And I've known about this YouTube channel before this too. I've just never been a huge follower. I think he is someone I would have watched more if I would have found him at another point in my life. But he's kind of the guy that when I checked in, it's like, yeah, it's good content, but it's like it's nothing I have to see personally. You know, I would get more out of talking to him than watching his videos, for instance. Gillian H. Approach a girl with the thought of getting to know her better, not to necessarily have her as your girlfriend. It's an opportunity to get to know someone new. Yeah, very good point. That instead of feeling I'm approaching this girl with a specific outcome in mind, like I want to get her number, I want to ask her out or whatever. Just approach her to get to know her. That's excellent. And when you do that, and you don't feel you have this pressure that I have to ask for the number or something, you might relax, and it might come, everything gets natural, and it's just natural towards the end of the conversation about, hey, it was nice meeting you. Maybe I can take your number. We'll grab a coffee or something. But that's great advice. That's actually what I've been doing when I've done these cold approaches. When I'm pretty much single. Just to kind of see if I got it. Since I'm not even trying. I'm not even trying to get their number or anything. So it's always been my thing. I'm just gonna approach this girl, talk to her, give her a compliment, maybe. That can be one thing too. Just grab a girl's attention and say, I just wanted to say that you look really nice today. And then peace out. It's good. Doing things like that is good for the self-esteem. Just going over that threshold that you fear to go over. Missa, tips for social anxiety and rarely fitting in when in group settings. I click with older people more than folks my own age. Well, two things. If you don't fit into the group, maybe it isn't your group, because this is a problem for a lot of people too. They try to fit in places they were never meant to be in. I used to be like that. I was afraid of expressing my authentic self, because these people, they're gonna think this and this of me, and it's people-pleasing behaviors. All people have people-pleasing behaviors. Even if you don't see yourself as that, you'll have examples of when you're not. But it is a form of people-pleasing if you even think, how do I fit in a group, So consider that maybe you don't have to fit in the group. Maybe you're a leader person, really. That's what I noticed about myself. The way I noticed that I was different from people, I never viewed it that way, because in school I was always treated as a problem, kind of, and that. But now I know, okay, I don't fit in groups most of the time, because I'm not a fucking little group person. When I thrive in a group is when I'm in front of the group, in charge, So many times when you're either in the wrong place if you're having a hard time fitting in, or you're also not as cut out to be. I never like, generally, big group settings. I don't necessarily feel anxious these days, but I can find myself in certain big group settings to just be like, I don't quite like it here, I prefer to spend time in smaller groups most of the times. But there are exceptions, like the choir I was in. I like the brotherhood aspect of that. But you see, ask yourself, really, these groups that I don't fit in, am I even supposed to? Young tuberculosis. Congrats on your physique, man. Extremely impressive. Well, I appreciate that, Young. Higher side. Mewing guide. Well, do you think I mew? I don't. But that's one thing, though. The entire face. I wanted to say this in connection to one of the questions I got before the stream, but I'll say that again for another video. But when you go on a journey of self-improvement and you're a man, so you're trying to become a better man, it will show, it will manifest into actually, like, my face looks, I still think I have kind of a baby face, but it looks so much more manly now. And it's not just age, it's not just 4 years. You're never going to get the full scientific breakdown on anything here. I'm just going to tell you what happens in reality. I don't know what it is with just the testosterone getting higher and all this, but if you are more of a man, actually act more like a man, you become more like a man, it's going to manifest on the outside too. So I haven't mewed anything, but I can see that my jaw is much more prevalent than it used to be. Just do fucking high testosterone activities. The mewing, maybe you can do too. I see someone told you to buy a jawliner. Favorite movies and books? Don't really have any. Neither read or watch many movies these days. Fight Club always spoke to me. I always mention Fight Club. I know now why it spoke to me so much, because it's not perfect, but it speaks to a feminized society, and men becoming weaker, not really feeling like men. And of course, I didn't quite understand when I was 14 and saw that I could relate to that, but I could. Kirk said, thank you for the stuck advice. Well, you're welcome, Kirk. Pink supremacy. Most people know what they need to do, but they avoid the work because it's hard. They will rather ask redundant questions to soothe their conscience, me included sometimes. It's called procrastination. Yeah, 100%. I had an email from one of these guys. He's really saying that, oh, but I hear so much, I don't know where to start. What should I start with? So you're here asking another question, and I did respond. I just know that it's a waste of time with a guy like that to even say too much. But if you don't know where to start, well, you know something. If you're currently, we were talking about fitness, for instance, you're not doing anything right now. Well, do something. Even if you don't know like the optimal plan for you right now, you know something. If you're eating a lot of junk food, you should eat less. Eat better food, you know. You're not going to the gym. Well, get a gym membership. Start going there. Just try some machines, you know. You're not really moving much. Well, start going on some walks. There's always something to do, you know. Thoughts on Snake Diet Fat Man and Maya Mesak. Well, the Snake Diet Fat Man, people keep asking me about him. I'm not follow that entire thing a lot. I guess it's someone that keeps failing and having backlashes. But you know, from what I see, he's getting up and trying again. A person that's trying always has my respect. You know, like with these super fat people, it could be easy for someone in my shoes that really has 100% control over the diet. I can bulk, I can eat a lot if I had to. I can now go on a fast for several days and it won't be a big problem for me. I can just choose to do that. You know, it's easy to be judgmental to people. Like, oh, you can't, you have all that body fat and you can't fast or something. But you know, you're fucking fucked up when you're that fat, you know. Like to begin with, to even get that fat, something was off. Of course, from people in the States that I assume this Snake Diet Fat Man is from, they also have the whole, it's not even your fault that you're just brought up in this environment with all the terrible food they have there. But then now, hormonally and everything, you're going to be so fucking fucked up when you're that overweight. It's a real big struggle. So from what just a little I know, I see he seems to be failing at times, but he keeps trying again. And you know, a person that's at least trying always has my respect, because you know there might be people that are like leaner than this guy, but they're just not doing anything. They didn't have to deal with that. They're not doing anything to improve. So yeah, a person like that always has my respect. Maya, I have no idea what she's doing these days. I kind of started coaching her a long time ago, but she was so unreliable. She's also so messed up from all the weight, you know, so I couldn't really put more effort into that. But she always, you know, she came across as a nice person to me. I just think she's probably not had a great life. And to be honest, when you are there and are so very overweight, it's just such an uphill battle. You have so much weight to lose. You have the addiction to food, your hormones and body just being completely out of whack. It's not an easy place to be in. Oliver Nilsson, how do you feel during and after a fast? Most of the time I feel great during the fast. You're kind of high off of your own stress hormones. The less adapted you are to fasting, the more difficult times of the fast you will have. For me, there's usually just one dip, one low point at some point where I maybe feel a bit nauseous or like low energy, but barely. Like I did a 5-day fast around Christmas, pretty much felt great the entire time. Afterwards, for this reason, often I feel immediately after a fast, I often feel a little empty, because it's like the high of being in the fast is over and you haven't really taken in all the nutrition again. So it's usually a little delayed effect, like after a few days of eating, and but now I get like a good boost in my mood again. But yeah, you feel pure, like quite like physically, just clean, but also in your mind. You're less overstimulated from all these things, you know. 60 days, 60-hour fast, so no protein at all. Yeah, guys. Yes, that's what I have lots of fasting videos. I will put out more and tell you all about it. No protein, and it's not a problem. Don't lose muscle. I have videos about that too. We're gonna get to all of the fasting in the week, so don't worry about that. Celeste Beaverstock, I'm not sure. Congratulations from California. Well, thanks. Congratulations as in just on the success with the channel. Are you the girl or woman that's been commenting on a few videos? I think so. Because the dumb thing now, these days with YouTube, is that you see like an @ handle in the comments. and it's different to like the name you have. So sometimes the act is different to the name, and you just see it in a different way. But I think that's you, bringing some positive comment on videos. So hi, appreciate you. Levenbroy, maybe you already told, but how old are you? Just wondering for when in your life you change your body. So I'll be 32 in December, and I started this when I was 25, soon to be 26, right? Yeah, exactly. So I was skinny fat when I was 25. So that's the thing too. I always thought, because of ideas my mom had put in my head, that you can't really become super fit unless you started when you were like a kid, basically. Of course, I did some exercise, I did some sports, but I did not train like this ever. And in my 20s, barely anything up until I was 25. So I reached a very high level with my results and starting at 25, really. So, and I see people, by the way, fucking 70-year-old people that, you know, maybe, of course, if you start when you're 70, you're never gonna reach the level you could have if you started earlier. But people can transform their bodies radically even when they're that old. So it's never too late. Never too late. Nick225. Do you have any thoughts on NoFap? I'm currently doing low fat, but hope to stop. You know, it's an intervention. If you're really struggling with like porn, masturbation addiction, going completely cold turkey might be a thing. You know, some people claim certain benefits from it. I'm just not so sure that you have to. Um, I see it with many things. I see it as going on a program, be super strict about something. So then just not being super strict, but just doing something in a normal way, that's not an addiction, is going to be manageable. So and you say you're currently doing low fat, but hope to stop. Like, why? Why, you know? Upstart 21T. I'm wondering, have you ever read about Ivan Agueli, the Swedish esotericist? No, it's the first time I hear the name, actually. Annas Gelul. Is 1 gram of protein per pound better than 0.7 to 0.82 grams of protein per pound? So I always wish I could see the person asking the question. But the true answer to this, to almost anyone, is it doesn't fucking matter, you know. You smash your workouts, eat well, like eat protein with each meal. Like better for what, you know? Probably doesn't really matter. Probably minuscule difference. You know, I usually recommend the 1 gram per pound or 2 grams per kilo. That's like a good target. But really, if you eat a little bit less than that and you're smashing your workouts, you're gonna make progress. If you eat more than that, it's not like it's worse, it's just that it's not better. So, you know, just smash your workouts and eat protein with each meal, you'll be fine. Mesa, tips on how to attract good traditional girls. Well, become a good traditional man. That's the thing, you know. How do I get a good traditional girl? Like, work to become that man. That's how I found my girl, you know. Like, there's the story in the video, the Volcel video, the one, Stop Having Sex, that when I noticed that I don't care about sleeping around with girls anymore, and I started realizing that I want to meet one kind of more traditional girl like that. And I had these thoughts like, will she even understand that me, a fitness guy, that I'm really more of a traditional guy and this and that. And I realized that, you know what? I'm happy by myself right now. I'll just become a man. I set the standards. You're like, oh, how do I get a traditional girl? No, how do I become so fucking awesome that the traditional girls are like, I want him. No, me, they pick me. You know, do it like that. Become the man. Become the man that the kind of girl you would want to be with. Focus on you instead of the girl. You know, look within, not without. LA Methwich, OG, sending a super chat. Thank you. 3 or 2.99 Australian dollars. I got liver pain, inflammation, 7-day fast. Wise. I mean, this is not really. You sent a super chat, so I want to give a good response, but this is not really my cup of tea. It's like, I don't think it's an issue. I think often fasting is good for most organs, just giving them a break, kind of. So it's just that it's not medical advice. I don't want to tell you something that it's like what I would do is I mean, inflammation fasting is good for. I would just start the fast, see what you feel like, and then just if you're having pain and troubles, well, you're gonna have to break the fast then. But if you can go on the fast and it feels good, do it. Oliver Nilsson. Also, to add to my other question, do you work out during the fast? So we'll get to all of this. I have videos on all of this, and we'll get to all of it again this week when I'm fasting. But I don't really work out during the fast because it's like the one break I get from training. I train so much, so hard all the time, and when fasting, it's not really productive to train hard because we're not eating protein. Even if we're not losing muscle from fasting, we're sure as hell not gaining muscle. And so training, smashing your muscles without getting any protein to repair, that would be the time that maybe you'd lose muscle because you broke something down and there is no building blocks to repair. So I exercise, I will move on the fast, and then usually on a longer fast, like a one-off fast like this, I will usually at the end, I go do some heavy lifts for low volume, more for the kick, more just to feel like, well, how much can I do now, But it's it's the least important time to work out when you're fasting, really. Yeah, we've been up to like 45 people or something most, maybe close to 50. And like if you haven't already, send a super chat to show support. It's a lot of fun. I love this, guys. I want to, if I could pick, I almost want to be a streamer. It's just that you have to put out videos too. But I would love to be able to stream more often. If I can count on this kind of viewership, I'll definitely do it more. Listen, I've often perceived as being unique, weird, etc. This has made me insecure. Should you just stop caring or something else? I'm 23, by the way. Yes, I mean, you're an overthinker. You have all these questions about things, and it seems like you lack action. You're probably a smart guy. You're probably the reason, unique, weird, etc. It's like I think the so-called normal people are weird. They're so fucking boring, many of them. They all follow the same script. Go to school, get a job, watch the Netflix, eat tacos on Friday, have vacation few weeks of the year, and have these opinions that I got from the mainstream media. They are the weird people to me. Like, probably no one has ever told you, but probably you're I don't want to say better than these people because we don't want to look down on people like that. Probably you're more capable, that you're unique. Maybe it's a strength, so I think you're sitting and wondering and pondering all these things and you're insecure and you just have to start taking some fucking actions towards what you want in life and don't think so much about the other people and just go your way, okay? I've had acne for 10 years. I've tried different diets, but nothing has worked completely. Yeah, man, maybe try fasting, maybe even dry fasting. Dry fasting is not something I have done as much. My girl has done a lot of dry fasting, actually. But skin conditions, dry fasting really seems to be excellent for. Maybe try an elimination diet completely, like carnivore or something. See what happens. Levenbroy. Funny you should mention that about what your mom said about starting late. I started 1.5 years ago, now 38, because I heard my heart in my sleep and drunk too much. I feel great now and see change. You heard your heart in sleep. I'm not sure what you're saying, but you started when you're 38. Well, look, man, we can always be like, what if I started sooner? Of course, it has occurred to me many times during this journey, like, wow, I reached such good results. What if I just started when I was like 18, The thing is, though, exactly what you went through in your life, it was exactly what you had to go through to end up at this point. And I've had some difficulties during these last 5-6 years, but overall, I've never been happier with who I am and where I am in my life. So how can I want to change anything before that? It's just a fantasy. It's just a theory. Like, oh, if I had started sooner. Well, you didn't. You had to go through exactly what you did to end up here. So yeah, man. I'm happy to tell you that yeah, of course, it would have been great if we started some things earlier, but you had to go through exactly what you went through to end up here, and it's not too late. It's never too late to become better. You can always, when you like fuck what could have been, and like making the most of what you have now, you'll be surprised at how much you can accomplish. Tesla say, hey bro, what's up? And UI, do you work out during your fasts? I did not. Well, I kind of responded to this to someone else. Well, you know, we'll go through all the fasting stuff throughout the week too. Disco, $10 super chat. Thank you for influencing fitness in a direction of controlling vices. Many influencers encourage fitness to indulge in vanity. Exactly. Well, I appreciate that. I'm, of course, I hope that my Instagram is called Uncommon Sense Fitness, but I hope that people see, like you do, that it's bigger. And it's unfortunate, you know, because some people, they confuse you with like other kinds of fitness people, but because fitness is great, but it's really, for me, it's just a cornerstone of my process. I think it's a lot of fun too. It's really a hobby too, but it's working on the self, right? And even like enjoying the looks of it, the aesthetics, building a body, but not out of vanity. You know, it's because it's your work of art. It's your way of leveling up, you know. So yeah, I'm glad that you know, I appreciate this kind of feedback either way, and thank you for the super chat. Appreciate it a lot. Yeah, and Guek2102 says to dude, send a coffee to Theo and give gratitude or money for therapy. For therapy? Wow. No, but I appreciate that. You know, that's the thing, you know, you're happy. I'm happy to give out advice for free. I mean, I've been doing this channel, it's very small, for years. But yeah, I tell you guys, it's not like I'm making a lot of money in my life at all. And the support you get, I can get from you guys, I appreciate it a lot. And you know that this is one thing I'll tell you that I talked about before on the channel. Uh, I followed YouTubers that did live streams, and it seemed so perfect to me that you both entertain and educate people for free, but the people that can support you some way do, and you make a living that way. And it's such a great, it's a great symbiotic relationship, you know. And so I understand that everyone can't support, but well, it means a lot for me, both in terms of actual money, but what it means, the gesture, but it's also a constant reminder that once in my life, I wanted to do something like this. I saw other people do it, but I was too afraid to do it. So yeah, those moments, that's when you go on a journey of self-improvement, you know, you're gonna have these moments like, man, I'm really doing the thing, you know, the thing I always wanted, the thing I was afraid of. Side tidbit about my cousin has an intense stutter, and she has suffered a lot from this in her life, and it has held her back a lot. Now she started also, inspired by me in part, to share her story and talk about her self-improvement process. And I see the same things in her now, that she like, I can't believe it, I'm finally doing what I always was supposed to do. It's beautiful. LA Methwitch says, best stream ever. Well, it's because we have more people than ever. I've said this always, you know, like these streams, I have to quit them when it's too few watching, but I know I'm fucking great at this, guys, okay? And as long as you bring the content, you know, trigger the content via the chat, we have a great thing going here. I can do this a lot more often if it's always like this. Pink Supremacy, gotta go. Great stream to you. Well, always good seeing you, man. Let's see. Tresnor, eat like you got diabetes and understand even on candy bar would ruin everything for weeks. Okay, it's giving advice about carnivore to someone else. And UI, would you consider cardio during fasting? Yeah, for sure. I mean, I always generally try to walk a lot, but of course, I say that exercising, I differ between exercising and training, because training, it's more hard, it's more intense with an effort to stimulate some kind of adaptation. Exercise is more movement therapeutically. Like, of course, you can do exercise that's not as intense that you can make progress with, but you see what I'm saying? Using movement sort of more just because this movement is good for me now, not just because I want to get better. So yeah, of course, a little bit of moderate intensity cardio, running, biking or something. Why not on the fast? This fast, I might be quite sedentary. The weather is not great and it doesn't really matter to me. because for me, I move and train so much that for me, if the fast is like the time I get a break. So probably go just on some forest walks during this fast. Nick225. I join if you stream more. Well, sure. Like, let's say for now, we keep the Sunday stream a thing, and I'll keep reminding people in the week in the videos. Start like that, and then we'll see. Maybe we can do it even more frequently. Normies are boring, Tressler says. Yeah, I agree. I do love the normies though too. I have a lot of normie, friends. Like because I'm a special person, unusual, uncommon person. I interact a lot with people here. It's not common in Sweden at all to be like saying hi to strangers and stuff. But I made it so that in grocery stores, in the gym, like everywhere I go, there's people that like to see me. Because I'm the one that actually talks to them. Do you know a cashier here, the guy or girl, they don't even understand when I am like, how are you doing? Because they are so not used to anyone doing that. But so I like normies. I love people. It's in the context of just talking for this guy that, oh, I'm weird, I'm unique. Well, maybe that's a good thing. Maybe the normies are the boring ones, but I do love the normies too. Some people talking a bit about keto and carnivore. Hello, Victor Revenko says. Hello, man. Nick225. Currently have a shoulder injury that'll take months to heal, but I still really want to train. Any advice to hold back, or I just deal with it? Lol. Well, look, train around the injury. Like, even if you have a shoulder injury, there are probably movements that include the shoulder joint that you can do that still work. Like, so there's even an old video about how I rehabilitated my shoulder, but this show I have had many injuries. That's what people should understand too. My progress looks like it's just linear, just moving forward, moving forward, moving forward. What you don't see is that there's been a lot of injuries on the way. It's just that I never let it be an excuse to like, okay, I just don't do anything unless absolutely necessary, and it's just almost never is. So my first major injury was this right shoulder. I was just benching too much. I didn't listen. I had pain, started feeling a bit, went into workout, under recovered, and something just popped, and it was, I had to walk around with my arm like this. When someone wants to like come and give me a hug, I have to quickly take the other side. I couldn't do anything for chest first. The only thing I could find was I could do cable flies from a high to low angle. So I just spammed these as my only chest exercise for a while. The bench did not work at all, but gradually, when it just healed a bit, I noticed dumbbells worked for me. I could actually do dumbbells and make good progress with them. So I just had to quit the barbell benching for a while, and I just trained around the injury this way, picking exercises that worked. And after 9 months, I came back and hit a bench PB the first time I benched for 9 months, So, just experiment with movements that work while you are injured. Just because I saw this one fast. Ironside, how tall are you, my dude? I'm 177 centimeters, I think. I used to say 176. I seem to have gained a centimeter just from improving my posture with all the training. I think it says 176 in my passport, but every time someone else has measured me these last few years, they've said 177. And so I think that's, no, it's not 5'8". It's look, let's translate this now. I know it's closer to 5'10". Like, not that I care so much about my height, honestly, but don't give me a shorter height. Come on. 177 in feet. It is. Come on. Oh, it actually says 5'8" here. Oh, now I'm confused. Is it really 5? No. Okay, no. Okay, so it's closer to 5'10" than 5'9". It's like, it says here 5 feet 9 and 11/16 inches. So 5'9" and a half is probably fair to say. Keep doing this, bro. I bet you will blow up. Well, I appreciate that, brother. Your traction is starting to stick, brother. Just keep going. Yeah. Look, when that video, the old video got picked up, I'd capitalized on it. Yeah, I'm seeing huge influx. Like this stream, biggest stream I ever had, best response ever to all my other videos recently now too. So and also it's perfect timing because I want to do a fast for my personal process. It's a perfect time to introduce some of you newer people to all of that too. So yeah, I'm gonna ride this wave for sure. Expansion period, relating back to a topic earlier in the stream. I have a tendency to be neurotic. Should I go keto long term for better mental health but sacrifice muscle flexibility? Like, fuck it with all these questions. Just fucking do something and stick to it for a long time, man. This is your problem. So should I do this or this? Oh, I wonder about this. Oh, this thing. Just fucking do something. Like, keto, your mental issues do not come from diet. It comes from thinking too much and taking too little action. Take some action. Keto or not, it doesn't matter. Do something and stick to it for a long time, okay? Yeah, and Tresnor has some, listen to him. Piss Manvar, you're a good speaker. Maybe you could create a podcast. Oh yeah, I have a few like podcasts, like one-off interviews with some people on this channel. It's not great audio quality and stuff, but yeah, it's definitely something I want to do long term because I am good at speaking. I can talk a lot, but I am a good both listener and interviewer. I'm actually officially a journalist. I have the degree and everything. That's what I did. I never really truly worked as a journalist, but I went to school for it. It was a very naive way of thinking I could make a change, and I realized I wanted to reach out with a message, but through the mainstream media was never for me. But yeah, a podcast when I don't do as much of the talking, but actually trigger someone else to talk, and that it's a long-term thing, definitely. Spammed, lol. I guess you spammed the chest flies. Week 2102. I think in the end, a super chat first. And UI, 100 Swedish crowns. I appreciate that. Nice to see you, Theo. You have a very similar mindset to me, but key difference is your discipline. I have never been fat, but never ripped like you either. How do you keep it up year after year? Well, I am, people, a lot of people think they're so unique, I'm an all or nothing kind of person. Well, maybe you're just a person. That being said, I've always been quite a polarized person. Like when I get into something, I get into it fully. And it's also, for me, it's coming from such a dark place when I started this and it making such a huge difference. So, okay, it was more difficult. It took more what I felt was actual true discipline at the start. I just love it. I want to do these things so much. Like, do you understand that it's one of my biggest things with fasting? I like fasting too, but I can't train now. I can't train. Most days, if I went to the gym to train and the gym is closed, I would be so disappointed. My day is ruined. I didn't get to train, And the diet, I just mastered dieting, so it's just easy. I don't feel like I need much discipline. The most disciplined thing I do is that I buy and cook almost all my food, but just sticking to the food, it doesn't take all that much discipline. So really, man, it's discipline or that kind of thing, what you are talking about now, it's like a skill. You are never just motivated to train. It feels good to train and you're enjoying every aspect of it when you start. You just have to learn to do things like that. It's like, that's the thing with discipline. In the end, it's not, I like Nike's slogan, just do it. Just do it. That's all you have to do. Do the thing and keep doing the thing. But appreciate the super chat a lot, my man. Mesar, do you think vibes are more powerful than looks and heights and muscles regarding attracting girls? Yeah, I think in your case, like just fucking stop thinking so much. Talk to girls. Talk to girls. Find out yourself what they like. My bad, bro. Yeah, about the height, I guess. Oh, let's see here. Wake 2102. I think in the end, to all the post-doomer loner guys, you're amongst the like-minded. Chill out, gang. Yeah, happy to support Theo. Let's be careful on keeping the black pill go. Just your life pill. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I responded. Someone said on my Andrew Tate video, like, "Oh, black pill for life," and I said, "Not around here. Sun pill. Take the sun pill." No, but guys, I'm happy. The kinds of guys coming here, like even Mesarp, that I keep I'm being a little hard on you here, but it is from a friendly place. I can tell what kind of guy you are and what kind of spot you're in. And it's really overall, from everything I've heard to you, my best piece of advice is stop thinking so fucking much about whether this or that, and just do something. You'll find out. That's the best way to truly know something. It's never a waste of time. It's like doing a diet, for instance. It might turn out that it wasn't for you. Now you know that. Now you have one less thing to worry about. But many times just picking something and sticking to it, taking action, the problem a lot with being neurotic and overthinking, it's a lack of action, mainly. Yeah. Let's round up 5'9.5" to 5'10". I'm 5'10", guys, okay? Tell Zeroda, hello coach, congratulations on your jumpy popularity. It's always heartwarming to see good YouTube content get the attention it deserves, make a person believe he can make it too. Well, I appreciate that. People have been telling me for years, like, you deserve more subscribers. And I'm like, I know, where are they? I'm kidding, I'm humble, and I'm very happy. We're very lucky with this influx lately. That's something you gotta say. Of course, I've been consistent. So a good thing now is that when I get that influx of people, there's a lot of old content for people to go through and stuff. But you can't get away from, because I don't like to believe in luck a lot. The kind of luck is when skill meets opportunity kind of thing. But we were talking about the sudden growth. I could have done nothing about that. One video was just picked up, blew up. Yeah, piss Manuel. Well, wait, what video made you popular? Was it the red pill video? That content is popular now. No, it was the old video, very old, 4 years. That's called what women, what being ripped taught me about women. Such a random video for me that it went viral. I haven't even watched it again, because it's cringe for me. Not that I couldn't watch it, but I see the little boy there. Like I said earlier in the stream, I had come pretty far with my self development. But in my eyes now, I'm just so much better now. Like, fuck, can a recent video, when I'm much better at literally everything I do, can that go viral? But I'll definitely take it. But that was the one. What being ripped taught me about women. Would be good to have a non-toxic men's channel. Well, it's kind of what I want to do here, but also I want to be inclusive to women, though. Like, believe me, guys, like, because I have a non-toxic view on women, I feel like, too. It's the issue of either this fucking extreme feminism that many girls have fallen victim to, but also some guys think they need to have that kind of white knight in that way. Then of course you have the guys then that get angry, like my former self, and you get very anti these things, and you start to build up a certain resentment towards women. And now I'm on the other side of that too, so I really don't identify with either of these. And I of course think women need men to lead the way, and so I want. This is a male channel. I'm always going to have a bigger male audience, I think. But I really want women to feel welcome on this channel too, though. I just want to say that. But yeah, non-toxic men's channel, that's a lot what I'm going for here. And I like that you say that. WEC 2102, stick to it. Stop changing the plan, I guess. Yes. Like, don't change plans all the time. It's like with training program. My program, since I came back from Greece, because when I was in Greece, honestly, it was almost the same program. It was the same template for my training program. I had just more options on exercises in better gyms back here. But since the end of the summer up until now, it's the exact same program. I just swap an exercise here and there, but it's just going through every week. Okay, it's Monday, it's upper day again. I'm gonna do chin-ups, I'm gonna do a bench press, I'm gonna do a seal row. It's Tuesday, I eat legs. I'm gonna do squats. I'm gonna do my Romanian deadlifts. Blah blah blah. It's the same thing over and over. It's like program hopping. It's one of the dumbest things. People, they stick to a program for like 2 weeks and like, nothing's happening. I change program. It's not supposed to happen that quickly. You do the thing for a long time, and most of the time you don't change completely. You change aspects of like a base foundation that is always there. Tresinor, it wasn't really red pill, it just got picked as red pill in the algorithm. Yeah, like he says, everything takes time. Okay, they're talking about keto and that. I'll let you guys talk about that. Disco with a little, the sun pill response, I guess. Chuck Norris, come on. Chuck Norris, any tips on bicep training volume? I'm just starting a cut, and I obviously made progress everywhere else, but my biceps specifically seem to slow down. It's funny that you say biceps, really the most difficult muscle for me. Like almost every muscle, I have been able to bring up immediately while just when just putting like I would say that I have that's one thing with me in my physique, it's quite well rounded. There's no really super obvious super strong points, I think. Traps and shoulders maybe, but no obvious weak points either. But the most difficult muscle for me has been the biceps. You say volume, really volume can be so different. It's more like find exercises that you connect really well with and have a system for progress. It's like, the volume, it's like with everything, just start somewhere. Like if you have 2 days per week when you train biceps, have 2 exercises, do 3 sets each, probably enough. But one thing, like if you feel like I'm training hard and blah blah blah, I'm not seeing any progress, well then maybe up the volume, But specifically in terms of volume, no, like direct response. It's funny because Tesla says it's super easy to overtrain the biceps. Just be careful. I don't know where you're getting that. I've always felt like biceps is the fucking most difficult muscle to overtrain. Like triceps, I can go and get sore in my triceps right now if I want to. And the biceps, I always felt like I can completely destroy the biceps in a workout. And the next day, it's barely sore. I don't feel anything. Not that you have to get sore to make progress, but what I'm saying is this with overtraining the biceps, that it's easy. It's the opposite of my experience. But here is where little individual differences may come in. Maybe you have a tendency to easily overtrain the biceps. And UI, thanks for the response. I have motivation for 1 year here and there. I've tried different things like you. I truly recommend fasting and carnivore and NoFap as well. Well, the main thing is that when the motivation thing, when you're not motivated, there's a lot of talk with this, like you can't rely on motivation, you need discipline. And while that's true, there will be times in your life when you just have less to give. And that's been a big lesson for me too. This is what I mean with how the work on yourself and the insights you make, they never stop. Because I've been a little too much leaning towards you just need discipline side of things. You absolutely do, but you have to allow yourself to do less sometimes. Just don't stop completely. That's the thing. And it's funny because sometimes when you don't allow yourself to do less, that's when you're like, I failed. I just stop it altogether. But that's the thing with making the progress going forever. You have to realize I can't always go 100%. But I can never go 0% though. Maybe I can go as far down as to even 50% sometimes. Just never 0. Doesn't have to be 100 all the time. Shouldn't even be. Just never 0. Close grip, palm up, pull downs. So absolute failure, my brother. Yeah, there is actually a random arm workout video on this channel. The exercise I used for biceps there was a preacher curl and a sort of hammer incline curl. I've been let's not talk too much about biceps right now, or me. There's other stuff here. Why? Love the channel, brother. Keep up the good work. Well, I appreciate that feedback, my man. So we've gone for almost 2 hours. I mean, if you and UI, thanks algorithm for 4 years old video. That's why I'm here. Yeah. We all are all happy for that video, right? I'm probably the happiest of everyone, but you guys are lucky. You found me. So you see, I put on that fake arrogance sometimes. It's fake. I'm humble as they come. Okay. No, but I pretty much worked through most things in the chat. And we've gone for almost 2 hours. Maybe it's a good time to stop. I see that I have the top chat on, not the live chat. It might have sorted something out. I hope not. But yeah, guys, I could keep going. I'll just keep it going for a few more minutes, see if something happens. But I think we're rounding off the stream. Someone would take the last chance to send a super chat. I'd like that a lot. But I made a decent little buck here on super chats today. A lot of fun, guys. Like I say, I'm not at a point where I'm making a lot of money from this, right? I have to spread out the things I do a lot. I would love it if more of my income could come directly from YouTube, because I could like one thing, for instance, is I want to keep my production value quite raw, but I could still do some things like get better microphone, get better camera and stuff. But I will just never overly edit my videos. But you see, if I can get more income from YouTube, I'll both be able to put more time, like doing more content like that, but even up the value of the like production value like that. So yeah, thanks guys, everyone. Thank you everyone that brought questions and just support. Thank you especially to those that sent the super chats. Like I said, it will help a lot with the future of this channel. Gwek2102 says you rock, Theo. Well, I appreciate that. You rock too, bro. Thanks, mate. Appreciate the Q&A. Cheers. Levenroy says, well, I appreciate you too. Thank you for the advice. Greetings from Östergötland. Mesar says, well, you're welcome. I'm sure I'm going to see more of you guys in the future. So in the week, there's going to be lots of fasting videos, and maybe we have some random stream in the week too, but next Sunday, same time, we'll definitely do this again. Thank you for today, guys, and I'll see you later. Peace. And that's it, because I didn't end it. Stick with it, bro. You will blow up, but you have to keep going. I believe in you. Trestner says $5. Well, I appreciate that. I won't give up. Look, I've done this for years up until now, so I won't give up. Shahid Yamani says, love your work, man. Talk more about women. I will. Okay, guys. Thank you for the day. I will see you later.